It is sad that big corporations feel like they can take advantage of their tenants and completely disregard their well-being. After 32 days of being displaced from our apartment and having to stay in a hotel, 2 escalations later, we're now back in the apartment only to find out it's still not complete. But as you know, if you've been following our page, you know that on May 18th, we had a fire in the house. We had renter's insurance that was in place to take care of any of the damages and also to help us while we were displaced. But initially, we were told 7 days.
Right.
You know, it could have wavered a little bit, but okay, we're looking at 7 days. They said 5 days cleanup, 2 days of assessing the damage and seeing how much they were going to bill back to our insurance company. Well, 2 weeks later, when we should have been coming back into the apartment, they're still talking about it's not dry.
Right.
We don't even have carpet.
Yeah.
There's no carpet in the apartment. It's all hardwood floor.
Right.
Well, we come to find out nobody was checking in on the drying of the apartment. So nobody knew that the lights kept going out.
The electricity kept going off. So the machines that they had drying the apartment were not even drying the apartment because the electricity was off, but no one was checking. So they didn't know that the machines weren't on. So all that time, the machines should have been drying the apartment. They weren't. So
they were not keeping us informed. And so, you know, throughout this process, we try to keep our sanity.
Yeah.
Do what we needed to do to, you know, stay positive, kind of treat it like a vacation.
Right.
But it just kept getting worse and worse. So
it's very difficult to be displaced, traveling with animals.
Yeah.
Yeah. And eating out all the time, trying to, we had a meal train. We did have help because people were very generous to help us, and we appreciated that, but it's a lot.
Right. It's a lot. And every insurance clause has a limit, you know, so there was a limit on how much they was going to pay for us being displaced. Based off of the initial information that we received, we should not have even came close to our limit. Right. But anyway, to fast forward, we get to June 10th. We still have not. We talked to the property management on June 10th to get some type of update. What's going on? It's been now, we're going on 3 weeks now. What's happening? And then she says, well, everything's done except the cabinets and flooring. Well, why can't we come back in while you fix the cabinets? That's not. Now, the electrical issue, we understood.
Right.
Because the electrician didn't even come until June the 6th. And the apartment went out, the fire happened on May 18th.
Right.
Electrician did not even get here to fix the electrical issues until June 6th. So on June 10th, she said, you can come back. Well, not you can come back. Everything's done except the cabinets and the flooring. So why can't we come back? That's something that can happen because, you know, we're spending a lot of money. Our insurance won't reimburse us until this claim is settled. So all of this money is coming out of our pocket. Well, I'll have to check with corporate. I didn't accept that as an official answer because that didn't make sense to me. How are you going to continue to keep us out of the apartment over some cabinets? So we sent an escalation letter that same night, asking for additional information of why the apartment was still considered uninhabitable when the only thing that needed to be done was cabinets and floor. Okay. So that was on the 10th. We got no response from this escalation that was sent to corporate and to our main property. So on we did some more research. We looked through our lease. And then on June the 16th, that following Monday, based off of this clause in our lease, and these things we're going to put up, you can pause to read what you want. That lease tells us that when we find ourselves in a place due to fire, if it is uninhabitable, we can be released from the leasing agreement without any penalty.
Right. If we have been displaced from the apartment for more than 14 days, then we can be released without penalty from the leasing agreement. And we chose at that time on the 16th to exercise our right as tenants per the lease agreement to terminate the lease because we, by that time, had been out of the apartment. They told us that the apartment was uninhabitable, and we had been out of the apartment more than 14 days at that point. And so we told them at this point, we want to exercise our right as tenants per the lease agreement to terminate the lease. And we requested, because at this point we had already paid June's rent, although we were not in the apartment, because we always pay our rent on time. We have never been late paying our rent. So although we were not in the apartment, we still paid our rent on time.
And so finally, when we sent that one, we did get a response back from the main, not from corporate, but from
Customer support?
from Beatrice, from Cumberland Ridge. We're talking about Cumberland Ridge in Clarksville, Tennessee. I should have said that first. We got a response saying we got your escalation. I'll let you know once corporate responds. That was on the 16th, Monday. We get a response from corporate on Thursday, which when you read this, we're going to post it here. This doesn't even look like a corporate response. But you basically ignored the clause that's in the lease that released us and just said you still got to honor your lease. Just ignored the complete clause and then said the reason why your apartment is not fixed is because we can't get in touch with your adjusters. Now, that's just a bald-faced lie.
Yeah.
Because we have been in constant contact with the office, giving them all the updates, speaking back and forth. They even told us we've arranged with your insurance to come through and look at the apartment and see, what their damages are, what they're going to reduce and what they're going to pay for. So how are you going to say you have not been in contact with our agents? We even on the 10th, when we spoke to Beatrice and she gave us the information that we did not receive as, just the final say right before we sent the escalation. We gave her then an update on the agent because our agents had been switched. We gave her the new name. So you saying that our apartment is not fixed because you can't get in touch with our insurance, that's just a lie. Just a lie you just pulled up out of the sky. Okay, guys, on June the 19th, they send us this response as if they're not going to honor our request and that the apartment's not fixed because they can't get in touch with our agents. But then on June 20th at 9:00 in the morning, we get a call from the apartment complex saying, oh, you can return back to the apartments. Oh, really? But you just said it wasn't fixed because you couldn't get in touch with our agents. So we come back to the apartment only to find out cabinets still not done. We're inserting pictures of them now. Cabinets not done. Flooring still not done. And tools left everywhere. There was no cleanup, no safety precautions, nails and screws everywhere. So we had to do the cleanup, because we're bringing animals back in here. Only a couple of hours later, the puppy is sneezing and coughing and doing stuff. Vomiting, diarrhea. So from what's in the atmosphere. So because we sent that letter, now all of a sudden we can come back. So you just put us back into a situation
that's toxic.
That's toxic.
So a day before it was uninhabitable. We couldn't come back. But now, because we're requesting that you honor the leasing agreement that we both entered into willingly, now all of a sudden we can come back, but you haven't completed any of the work that was supposed to have been done in order to make the place habitable.
June the 10th, when we asked you, the apartment was exactly the way it was when we walked in here on June the 20th. Right. So for another 10 days, you left us in lingo, paying bills that we didn't have to pay.
Right.
Limbo. Okay. Yeah. Left us in limbo. But, only to come back and say, now we can come back because we sent a letter asking to be released from the... No, see, y'all full of it. So we just playing in our faces. Yeah, you playing in our faces and you laughing and you want to drag this out. So we just ask that you just help us share it, put it out there and let people know because it's not right. And if our only means getting back at a company or exposing them. It's by coming to social media to let other people know what you may be facing. If you get into a situation with certain people, then that's what we're going to do. So we thank you for listening.